Hello guys, a very good morning. Welcome to Gradeup and welcome back to the daily PIB summary. I wish you all a very good morning. I hope you are doing pretty well. So guys, the topics that we are going to cover is again 4. But before that, this is something about me. I am Shailender Singh, History and NCERT expert with Gradeup. I am an MBA from Symbiosis Pune and I have also written UPSC mains multiple times. For the last 1.5 years, I've been mentoring and tutoring civil services aspirants. So these are the days left to the exams. Just 57 days left for UPSC EPFO 2020, for UPSC CSE 2021 exam. Just 106 days left, and for UPSC CSE 2022, less than 500 days are left. So guys, please hurry up, buckle up, and there is very less time left for whatever exam you are preparing, and that is why it has to be in full momentum. Those of you who are watching on YouTube, please like the session, comment, share, and also do subscribe in case you haven't. Also guys, we have this scheme that is going on, a limited time offer, which is Super Saving March offer, wherein you will be getting flat 30% discount on Gradeup Super subscription plan plus extra 40%, up to extra 40%. For that you will have to use this coupon code which is Saver, and on the basis of it you can avail the percentage of discount. You can call on this number to have more clarification. Otherwise you can simply go to the app and you can purchase this subscription plan and avail the offer also. So the 4 topics that we are going to cover guys are the first one is the first meeting of the BRICS contact group on economic and trade issues held. That is the first one. The second topic is first Quad leaders virtual summit. So it is a summit level meeting for the first time which is being held between these leaders. Recently there was like very important development wherein all these leaders they spoke about the need to keep the Indo-Pacific free of any sort of aggression and encroachment with China in mind. The third topic is creation of new employment through Pradhan Mantri Rozgar Protsahan Yojana. So the government wants to create new employment, especially against the backdrop of COVID pandemic, the impact it has had on the employment levels in the country, and it also seeks to bring more people under the formal sector through incentivization. We will see how. And finally, the government sends in experts to help Odisha government in effective management of forest fires in the state. So forest fires are raging in the northern part of Odisha, especially in Similipal National Park and Tiger Reserve, and the central government is really concerned about it because like a very huge forest fire, very difficult for the state government to control, and that is why the various stakeholders, they are coming together to ensure that the forest fires are controlled and there is minimal loss of lives, be it of the animals or be it of the human lives. Good morning, Swaiksha Anuradha. Is it Neetu Pal or is it Neetu Pal? Because you Nilutpal. Okay, I think your name is Nilutpal. I used to pronounce it Neetupal. It seems like Neetupal. All right. Nandini, good morning. Priyanka, Sarthak, Razia. Yes, Razia, I can see after a long time you're back to the class. Ujjwala, Vartika, Anshu, S. Prakash, all of you, a very good morning. So guys, this is the first topic that we are going to cover. First meeting of the BRICS contact group on economic and trade issues held. The BRICS contact group on economic and trade issues, CGETI, so this stands for contact group on economic and trade issues, held their first meeting under India's chairship from this date. In fact, for the BRICS meeting that is going to be held, summit level meeting I'm talking about, wherein the heads, the prime ministers and the president, they would be coming together. That is going to be held in India this time in 2021. Last year, can somebody tell me where was the BRICS meeting held, or which country organizes? Because naturally it was the COVID pandemic, so we could not have that physical meeting. But which country hosted BRICS 2020? the theme of BRICS this year is BRICS at 15, intra-BRICS cooperation for continuity, consolidation and consensus. So this is the theme that you can see over here, guys. As I said, themes are important, and since this is a very important group, BRICS, you should remember what is the theme for this year. Let's check out some of the details regarding this. India, under its chairship in 2021, presented the calendar of events for BRICS CGETI 2021, which included, so these are the agendas. By the way, I'd ask a question. Alright, so Anuradha, Japan तो part भी नहीं है BRICS का, and you are mentioning that Japan hosted it. Yes, Swiksha and Nilutpal, sorry. Yes, that's right. Yes, Russia hosted it virtually. The physical summit was supposed to be held, but because of COVID, it was not possible. So virtually, the leaders from their own home countries, they joined in, but apparently the host was supposed to be Russia, and it was Russia, and it laid out the agenda for the meeting, because the country that chairs it presents the calendar of events. For example, you can see that India for this year is presenting calendar of events, and for those of you who are not aware as to what BRICS is, because I can see that there is some sort of confusion. So these are the countries, guys, that are part of BRICS: Russia, China, India, Brazil. So originally these four countries were there. Under BRICS, under BRIC, it was just BRIC, just one single piece of BRIC, and which was converted to BRICS in 2010. So 2009 में फर्स्ट इन लोगों का समिट हुआ था ब्रिक का, 2009 में रशिया में हुआ था. बाद में चाइना के सजेशन पे साउथ अफ्रीका को भी इनवाइट किया, बाकी जो कंट्रीज है मेंबर्स हैं, दे आल्सो अग्री टू इट, and so BRIC became BRICS in 2010, that is 2010. And these countries, you know, they are the emerging countries. They are like very, very important in terms of the clout that they have collectively. In fact, singly भी अगर individual level पे देखा जाए तो चाइना का इतना ज़्यादा clout है, that is like the next potential superpower. It is challenging the might of US. And then we have these important countries like Russia, India, Brazil, and to some extent South Africa also. So you can imagine what a punch this small bloc, just 5 members, would pack. And it comprises, these countries comprise roughly a quarter of the GDP of the world, and land wise also they like, it's a very huge area that they cover. You can see some of the largest countries, like the largest country in the world, you see Russia is there, one of the largest countries in the world, China, even Brazil is much larger than India, almost twice the size, more than twice the size of India. And India itself is no small country. So you can see that all of these big countries are there, a part of the BRICS bloc. So yes, Sheetal, Brazil, Russia, India and South Africa. That's correct. Nilima, very good morning. I am fantastic. I hope you're also doing well. So the deliverables proposed are on BRICS cooperation on multilateral trading system. So that is one, this including framework, including cooperation for the TRIPS Waiver proposal at WTO. So guys, recently there was this development, that TRIPS Waiver proposal. Now what is this TRIPS Waiver proposal? 2020 में कोविड पैंडेमिक की वजह से जो डेवलपिंग कंट्रीज हैं, led by India and South Africa, they had proposed to the WTO that the products regarding COVID-19 pandemic, products as in, let's say vaccines, let's say some of the kits and all, they should be granted TRIPS waiver. TRIPS waiver is basically, TRIPS is associated, I'm sure that you would already know about TRIPS, as under WTO it's like an agreement which is related to trade related aspects of intellectual property rights. So इसमें intellectual property rights से related clauses हैं कि किन तरीके से जो intellectual property preserve की जा सकती है, maintain की जा सकती है, and what are the exceptions also. So it has got certain exceptions wherein the IP, intellectual property rights of the companies that make some particular product, I mean the waiver can be given. So India and South Africa इन्होंने request किया था WTO की waiver दे दिया जाए because of the big crisis that we are facing. हमको वैक्सीन बनाने की जरूरत है. ऐसा ना हो कि कुछ कंपनीज जिन्होंने वैक्सीन बनाई है वो इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी राइट्स के नाम पे बेसिकली मोनोपोलाइज करें. और एग्जैक्टली ये हुआ भी है. यूएस वगैरह में आपने देखा होगा कि अपने लिए ही वो वैक्सीन बना रहे हैं. स्टिल देयर आर सम 130 कंट्रीज जहां पे वैक्सीन की एक डोज भी नहीं गई है. सो इट्स लाइक मोनोपोलाइजिंग इन डिस्ट्रेस, इजंट इट? इतना बड़ा पैंडेमिक है, सब कंट्रीज इंपैक्टेड हैं, ज्यादातर ऑलमोस्ट ऑल द कंट्रीज ऑफ द वर्ल्ड, एंड इवन देन some of the companies and some of the countries, they are trying to monopolize the supply of COVID vaccine, which itself is naturally not good for the humanity from an ethical point of view and from an economical point of view also. And that is why India and South Africa, they had requested on the behalf of developing countries, by the way, that give us some sort of waiver so that we can manufacture vaccines without having to adhere to the TRIPS clause, ताकि वो ये ना क्लेम करें कि इन्होंने हमारे जो पेटेंट है उसको ब्रीच कर दिया. एंड those countries, those manufacturers could be sued under the WTO clauses. But as per the latest development that we have had in March, WTO ने basically वो accept नहीं किया. And because the rich countries like the US and the West European countries, they were against this exception because naturally it's all about money, guys. It's all about money. क्योंकि जो ज्यादातर जो कंपनीज हैं जिन्होंने कोविड वैक्सीन वगैरह डेवलप की है वो वेस्टर्न कंट्रीज हैं. एंड when the waiver would be given, the profits of those companies will be impacted, and they are not in a mood to basically do charity, and they think that the waiver should not be given. This is basically the controversy regarding TRIPS waiver proposal at WTO. Second is framework for consumer protection in e-commerce. Third is sanitary and phyto-sanitary working mechanism. So sanitary and phyto-sanitary SPS mechanism is one of the ways in which under the WTO, by the way, which ensures that the safety of humans, plants and animals. So sanitary is related to the animal products and phytosanitary is related to the plant products. Phyto का मतलब ही plant होता है, तो plant related जो products हैं उनकी hygiene. So basically जो animal related products होते हैं, let's say processed meat, right, or some processed food. And phytosanitary is also related to plants में कुछ भी, let's say fruits. इंडिया से अल्फांसो मैंगो बड़ा डिमांड में रहता है वेस्टर्न मार्केट में. सो क्या क्वालिटी है, क्या रेसिड्यूज हैं उसके अंदर, और कोई फ्लाइज वगैरह से तो इन्फेस्टेड नहीं है. सो ऑल दीज थिंग्स दे कंप्राइज the sanitary and phytosanitary measures so that the importing country can ensure that the health of its citizens, the health of the animals and plants in the country, that is not being adversely impacted. Then we have cooperation framework for protection of genetic resources and traditional knowledge, BRICS framework on cooperation professional services. So basically it will be helpful for India for the movement of skilled professionals. Let's move on to the next topic, which is first Quad Leaders Virtual Summit. Let's see what is the context. The PM of the country, Mr. Modi, would be participating along with PM of Australia, Scott Morrison. So this is Scott Morrison over here. PM of Japan, Yoshihide Suga. This is the PM of Japan, and you know who this person is. So सबको पता होगा ये कौन है, right? In the first Leaders Summit of Quadrilateral Framework being held virtually on 12th of March 2021. So the development is related to the Quad. So Quad as an organized, I mean this is as an informal grouping. This is also emerging as one of the very powerful groupings. So one is that we have BRICS. लेकिन BRICS का जो focus है ना वो ज्यादा इकोनॉमी पे है, इकोनॉमी पे ज्यादा है, ट्रेड एंड कॉमर्स पे ज्यादा है. बाकी जो engagement है, let's say the people to people contact, something of that sort. So it's like a somewhat different platform. Even though it's a small grouping, it's a powerful grouping. Then there is a squad which is coming up this as this informal. So BRICS is like a formal one. Another difference is that the BRICS is a formal grouping. This is an informal grouping so far. It's not a formal grouping as such. And Quad is emerging as this very important grouping for strategic and geopolitical concerns, for geopolitical reasons, for strategic reasons. यहाँ पे जो focus बहुत ज़्यादा economy वगैरह नहीं है, though they are going to develop that thing also in the agenda, but as of now the primary concern, you know, that is to contain China, and that is to ensure that जो Indo-Pacific region है वो basically safe and secure रहे. And it has also been described as Asian NATO. Basically जब formation हुई थी तो चाइना ने इसको resist. I mean, China does not like this grouping because all the potential adversaries are there, by the way, and that is why it has many times registered its formal diplomatic protest against this grouping, and it has also described it as Asian NATO. That is a sort of treaty wherein the military treaty is there, basically militarization of that grouping. So that is why it has been described as Asian NATO. The leaders will discuss regional and global issues of shared interest and exchange views on practical areas of cooperation towards maintaining a free, open and inclusive Indo-Pacific region. So ultimately जो focus है, this is like the most important reason why these four countries, they have come together. In fact, 2007 में, for the first time, this is like a basic fact that you should know, that Shinzo Abe, who was the ex-Prime Minister of Japan, Shinzo Abe, he had conceptualized this, he had proposed this, but shape nahi le paya for some reason or the other, because of apprehensions of Australia. Even India was not very sure about it, but 2017 में restart हो गया. 2017 में ये जो लीडर्स हैं, कंट्री जो रिप्रेजेंट कर रही हैं, इनके जो हेड्स हैं, they met along the sidelines of ASEAN summit. They met along the sidelines of ASEAN summit in Bangkok in 2017, और उसके बाद दोबारा से re-energize हो गया. This is known as Quad 2.0 now. So Quad 2.0, and this was like sort of Quad 1.0. The first version, and this is the second version. And this also shows, guys, very important. You see, the indication from this virtual summit is that the importance Joe Biden gives to Quad grouping, because a lot of geostrategists and political pundits, they were not sure as to Joe Biden would want to continue to show the interest in Quad or not, because अल्टीमेटली जो क्रेडिट है री-एनर्जाइज करने का, ये प्रेसिडेंट ट्रंप को जाती है. प्रेसिडेंट ट्रंप ने 2017 में अपना इनिशिएटिव लेके, he had those leaders around, and then it was re-energized, it was restarted, rekindled. So you know the kind of legacy Biden inherited from Trump. Most of the things, they have been cancelled, they have been revoked, और जहाँ पे revocation हो गया था वहाँ पे rejoin कर लिया. For example, the Paris Agreement. So the political scientists, they were not very sure as to what would be his attitude towards something that was sort of initiated by his predecessor, and it shows his commitment. By the way, you see, he has just come to the power, and within a short time he has held this virtual leaders summit. He has participated in it. That shows that as far as strategic concerns, strategic issues are concerned, he is not going to deviate from the line that his predecessor was towing. Alright, so which is good for India, by the way. It is good for India. Good morning, I can see many of you joining me. Ritu, MZP, Chinni, good morning. Priyanka, if you don't understand global and regional issues, it's alright. You will understand only when you do these topics a couple of times, then things will start getting clear to you. पहली बार देखोगे तो समझ में ज़्यादा नहीं आएगा, इसीलिए मैं बोलता हूँ जो भी इस तरीके के इनिशिएटिव्स रहते हैं, you have to watch for some time, because a lot of news, they are interrelated, they are repeated, they are somehow linked in some way or the other, and then only you develop that understanding. All right, so it's all right if as of now you don't understand all these issues much, but धीरे धीरे आपको आ जाएगा समझ में. You just have to be consistent. That is the only way in which you will be able to understand. The next topic is creation of new employment through Pradhan Mantri Rozgar Protsahan Yojana. This information was given by MOS for Labour and Employment, Mr. Santosh Gangwal, in a written reply in Rajya Sabha. So the government is implementing this Pradhan Mantri Rozgar Protsahan Yojana since 2016 with the objective to incentivize employers for creation of new employment. So one of the reasons why this important scheme it was launched was to incentivize the employers. Number one, to create new employment, because government इसमें जो employer का contribution है 12%, आपको पता होगा जो EPFO का जो contribution होता है, EPF जो contribution होता है provident fund का, that is 24%, right? जिसमें से 12% employer को देना होता है and 12% employee को देना होता है, right? So 12% जो employer का है, गवर्नमेंट ने कहा कि आपको देने की जरूरत नहीं, we will pay on your behalf, you just create jobs, you just hire people. So that is the way of creating, boosting employment in the country, intensive incentivization. Another benefit of that, this scheme is that it is leading to formalization. It is leading to formalization of our sector, of our workforce, because abhi bhi, as per various estimates, though there is no particular figure, some say 90% workforce is in the informal sector, some say 92%, some say 86%. Figures might vary, but there is no doubt that it's indeed a very, very high figure that is working in the informal sector. And the government wants to bring those people to the formal sector so that there is social security. जो लोग इनफॉर्मल सेक्टर में काम कर रहे हैं, कोई सोशल सिक्योरिटी नहीं है ज्यादातर केसेस में, देयर आर नो रेगुलेशंस, वर्किंग आवर्स, इसलिए गवर्नमेंट चाहती है कि ज्यादा से ज्यादा लोग फॉर्मलाइज सेक्टर में आए, उनके जो सोशल सिक्योरिटी बेनिफिट्स हैं, फॉर एग्जांपल दिस वन they could get that, and this is the reason why this particular scheme was launched. The beneficiaries registered up to 31st March 2019 will continue to receive the benefits for 3 years. So अगर किसी ने जिसकी सैलरी 15,000 रुपए से कम है, 31 मार्च 2019 तक रजिस्टर कराया, अपने को किया, that person would be entitled to receive the benefits for 3 years. That is 3 साल तक जो गवर्नमेंट है वो 12% देगी, एम्प्लॉयर का जो शेयर है, और एम्प्लॉय को तो खुद से देना पड़ेगा अपने पॉकेट से. Further, government had launched Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana, under which the government had contributed both 12% employer share and 12% employee share. So 2020 में guys COVID pandemic की वजह से you know the impact it has had on the job creation in the country. फॉर्मल सेक्टर में जॉब जो नई जॉब्स हैं काफी कम हो गई. इनफैक्ट अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल वर आल्सो फायर्ड. आई पर्सनली हैव आई मीन सम people known to me who were laid off, and likewise I'm sure that you also know personally maybe at least one person in most cases, if not all, that somebody was laid off because of the COVID pandemic. So the companies were laying off in the formal sector. So that is the reason the government wants to incentivize those employers to hire the people, and under दी प्रधानमंत्री गरीब कल्याण योजना. तो प्रधानमंत्री गरीब कल्याण योजना कोई एक स्कीम नहीं है गाइस, एक बहुत होलिस्टिक अम्ब्रेला स्कीम है जिसमें अलग अलग तरीके से गवर्नमेंट कोविड-19 के इम्पैक्ट को मिनिमाइज कर रही है. फॉर एग्जांपल बाय गिविंग फूड एंड राशन टू द पीपल, सब्सिडाइज्ड वन, बाय गिविंग लेट्स से doles and grants and all those of cash incentives to the people. One of the ways, one of the schemes, sub schemes under this larger umbrella scheme is the sort of incentives it is giving both to the employers and the employees to deal with the COVID pandemic, जिसमें 12% employers के जो शेयर है वो भी प्रोवाइड करेगा, और 12% employees के शेयर है of the PF that will also be contributed by the government. All right. Yes, Priyanka, many people were unemployed. Yes, absolutely. Yes, Nandini, right. We have discussed this, by the way, in the February class. I'm glad that you remember it, right? So that means that you are pretty regular, and I do know that you're pretty regular in the class. Government sends in experts to help Odisha government in effective management of forest fires in the state. This is the next topic. Let's see what is the context. Minister of Environment, Mr. Prakash Javadekar, today decided to form a 3-member expert team to help the Odisha government to help control the unprecedented fire incidents in the state. So you can see fire raging in Odisha, a very different sort of topic. So let's move on from economy to environment. And by the way, this topic is also somehow related to economy because of the impact that it might have on the local economy, on the people, on the flora and fauna and whatever. So in a lot of ways, this is related to the one of the core issues that the country faces every year. बहुत ज़्यादा न्यूज़ में नहीं रहता जब तक आग इसे लग रही होती है, तब तक तो थोड़ा बहुत अटेंशन मिल भी जाता है. Whenever the fire is over, the fire is controlled, then the media forgets it, then the people forget it. So it is taken very, very lightly. But this problem, the wildfires or the forest fires, guys, it is not related specific to Odisha. In fact, in a large part of the country, we have this sort of situation every year because of the nature of our geography, because of the nature of our vegetation. For example, in a large part of the country, we have tropical dry deciduous forests, right? Dry deciduous forests होते हैं जिसमें और dry deciduous trees होते हैं. So एक moist होता है, एक dry होता है, right? So जो dry में होता है उसमें basically कम जो जहाँ पे rainfall areas वाले होते हैं वहाँ पे होती है. This is like between let's say 75 to let's say 100 centimeters rainfall or even 60 to 100 सेंटीमीटर रेनफॉल इन एरियाज में ये वाले ट्रीज होते हैं. जब गर्मी की शुरुआत से पहले जो पतझड़ का सीजन होता है उस टाइम पे काफी वनरेबिलिटी होती है, राइट? सो देन इट इज वेरी प्रोन टू फायर्स. इन सम ऑफ द केसेस द फायर्स आर you see anthropogenic, that is the humans deliberately engage in like starting those fires, and in other cases it is natural, that is let's say dry leaves हैं forest में और lightning हो गई, so that will lead to wildfire. So it could also be because of natural factors, and here the forest fire that we are talking about is related to Odisha, that is related to Similipal National Park. इस एरिया में basically you can see the location. So these are the various biosphere reserves of the country. आप लोगों को पता होना चाहिए किसका लोकेशन कहाँ पे है. बायोस्फीयर रिजर्व का फॉर एग्जांपल सीसाचलम हिल्स, इससे रिलेटेड एक क्वेश्चन आया था कुछ साल पहले यूपीएससी में, एंड लाइकवाइज नीलगिरी बायोस्फीयर रिजर्व, इस एरिया से रिलेटेड भी क्वेश्चन आ चुका है. सो आप लोगों को पता होना चाहिए अलग अलग जो बायोस्फीयर रिजर्व्स कहाँ कहाँ पे हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल जो नॉर्थ ईस्ट के हैं or whatever the cold desert etc, and what are some of the salient features about them. In fact कंचनजंगा से related भी एक question आ चुका है एग्जाम में, previous PT question in UPSC CSE. So you should have some basic idea about the geography and all, and so the topic is related to forest fire. Let's hope that it will be contained. The team will be moving to Odisha to tender technical advice to contain the forest fires. Already around 6,000 people, the government officials are engaged in trying to douse the fires, in trying to eliminate the fires. So this is like a very big number, and the Odisha government is saying that we will engage even more people to make sure that the fire is contained, because ultimately it is leading to loss of the wildlife, right? So काफी ज्यादा wildlife है सिमिलिपाल टाइगर रिजर्व में, सिमिलिपाल बायोस्फीयर रिजर्व में. For example, tigers are found, elephants are found, and a lot of varieties, hundreds of varieties of flora and fauna, they might be either injured or they might be killed because of this. The Environment Minister informed that the team will be monitoring every day map showing the forest fire detection in the state, and also separate map showing fire detection in Similipal. So let's hope that it works in their favor.
दो ऑप्शंस है, सिर्फ प्रेप करो या ग्रेडअप के साथ सही प्रेप करो। ये है रोहन और डेटा शंकर सिन्हा,
एनालिसिस करके स्टडी प्लान बनाने में चैंप।
खूब रिसर्च करके टाइम टेबल बनाया, रोज 4 वीडियो देखूंगा, आखिरी 5 दिन मॉक टेस्ट और एग्जाम के एक रात पहले लास्ट ईयर के क्वेश्चन पेपर।
इतनी एनालिसिस के बाद भी एग्जाम क्लियर होगा?
पता नहीं
क्या पढ़ना है, कब पढ़ना है, इस सब के एनालिसिस के लिए ग्रेडअप है ना।
ग्रेडअप के साथ सही प्रेप है
तो लाइफ सेट है।
Download now.
Okay guys, so we are done with the discussion for the day. UPSC Prep with Gradeup, these are the courses that we have just started. IAS 2021 crash course, IAS 22-23 foundation course, EPFO 2020 revision course and NCERT special course. If you wish to join them, please do join. This is the contact number that you can call up and they will guide you through. These are the various value additions that you'll be getting: 500 plus live interactive sessions, 500 plus PDFs, 4000 plus practice question and 30 plus mocks and sectional tests. If you wish to subscribe to Gradeup, you can use the offer that is like the coupon code, which is like SAVE, and this is like a very limited term offer. Here these are the steps that you have to take. Select your plan first. So these are the various plans that you have. You can select one of them, either of them that you are planning to go for. You can apply the coupon that is I mentioned in the beginning, the coupon code, and you can make the payment eventually. So these are the steps that you'll have to undertake in order to avail this scheme. And the Gradeup Super subscription plan, it provides you unlimited access to all the structured courses, expert faculty, best study material, mock tests and sectional tests in PDF and quizzes. So that is like the value addition that you're getting under this all-encompassing umbrella sort of offer scheme, which is the Gradeup Super subscription plan. These are going to be the faculties that are going to teach you. So these are the faculties who are like very well versed in their own respective subjects and they have like long experience of teaching. You can join us alternatively on Gradeup Telegram by looking for Gradeup IAS preparation. You can search for this and you can connect with us for study material and short notes, and also for any updates that we might have for you. Don't forget to like the session, guys. Comment, share, and also do subscribe, those of you who have not so far, by the way. It's okay, Nilima. First of all, thank you so much, and it's alright if you're not able to join the session every day, because I do understand there will be constraints, but nonetheless you can be consistent after the class. Let's say you can maybe watch that video after, I mean whenever you are like comfortable. I do know that you have like college and constraints of time, so that's alright. Yes, Pallavi, the classes would be being conducted daily. Anuradha, 15,000 का जो है, और 15,000 से जो नीचे है जिन लोगों का सैलरी, सिर्फ वही लोग एलिजिबल होंगे स्कीम के लिए. जिन लोगों की सैलरी 15,000 से कम है वही लोग जो स्कीम हमने डिस्कस किया था, रोजगार प्रोत्साहन योजना एंड सब्सिक्वेंटली गरीब कल्याण योजना, उसमें 15,000 से नीचे वो एलिजिबल होंगे वहां पे. थैंक यू एवरीबडी. Yes, Nandini, I'm sure. Yes, and I won't be catching good. At least this is the one thing that I'm very good at. So hopefully I'll be well, and likewise you also take care. I could not. Thank you, Sweksha. I could not get what Priyanka you are trying to say. What are the performance of these classes, as in? I'm sure that the performance would be good if you are consistent in the class. Alright, so guys, thank you so much. I will see you tomorrow. Thank you, Anuradha. Thank you so much. I will see you tomorrow, guys, at the same time. Let's continue with the discussion tomorrow, the weekly discussion that we will have tomorrow at 9 AM. Alright, and by the way, there is a quiz at 10 AM. Those of you who want to join the quiz, you can join that. The RSTV quiz I am going to host at 10 AM shortly. Thank you so much. Take care. Have a good day indeed. Bye bye.